Bethany, and this is the Knitting Thru podcast. It is June 4th, and heavens, it is humid. It just started raining. Those of you who are curly-haired people, you know what it's like when it gets real humid and your hair just starts like reaching out for the moisture in the air. That's what's going on right now. So my curls are like trying. They're trying. So we're just gonna let them be. However, you know, the bigger the hair, the closer to God is what we say sometimes over here. I'm from Indiana, if you couldn't tell by the way that I talk, and I am just a Midwestern mama who loves to knit. Sometimes I crochet, sometimes I sew. Today is just knitting. Today's just knitting. I can't actually remember if I've done any other, I know I haven't done any crochet projects, but I can't remember if I've done any sewing projects since the last time I was able to chat with you, because the last time I chatted with you was April 1st. Oh my gosh. It's been a couple of months, and I have tried my darndest to sit down and be able to do the whole podcast. I usually just do it once a month and do a little chat and review of what I was able to accomplish. But we had a family emergency at the beginning of May. My husband and I had to make a trip out to California very suddenly, and then when we came back, we were about halfway through May already, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do this at the beginning of June, and that's fine. So the theme today is birthday socks. There are other things I've been working on, but there are many birthday socks that I've finished. So, and these are all from May, which is really great. The first thing that I finished were my daughter's birthday socks. They are the Apple Orchard socks by Judy Jewell of the Autumn Acorn Knits podcast. Now you might notice these look pretty fuzzy. I finished them in May. She absolutely loved them. Her birthday was in December, so finishing them in May, really long time to wait for a pair of birthday socks, but finished them. The lace pattern on them is so adorable and cute. It's really easy to do and memorize. I did the shorter leg version because they're kind of summer socks, but they got put in the dryer. You can tell more on the cuffs, kind of. Can you see how fuzzy those are? After they came out, I thought, oh no, because she was really in love with them. And the time before that I made her a pair of socks, I did mohair toes on them, and they were these bright pink socks, and I thought she was gonna love them, and she really did not. She was very nice about them when I gave them to her, but every time I gave her an opportunity to wear them, she was like, no thank you, those are itchy. And I was like, okay, got it, no more mohair toes for you. I thought they would help keep you warm, but that's all right. She's been wearing these with her favorite sneakers that are actually also like roller skates. The wheels pop out on them. So cute, so fun. And when they came out and they were a little felted, I said, let's try them on and see if you can get them over your heel. And she couldn't. So I told her that if I can't stretch them out on the blockers well enough for her to wear, then I'll make her another pair. And she seemed satisfied with that. So who knows, maybe I will need to make her another pair. But I did soak them accidentally for a couple of days, but they still smell very nice. And then I put them on these blockers. These are the smallest blockers I have. They're actually an adult small. So hopefully that will be enough for her, but if for some reason she still can't get them over her heel, I'll probably soak them again and put them on an adult medium blocker and see if I can get these to work, because they're so cute and she really likes them. Her favorite color is blue and her sister's favorite color is pink, and so I made a pink pair of these a few months ago, maybe last summer. not just a few months ago. And now they have these matching ruffle socks. And when she was trying to get them over her heel, she cried a little bit because I said, well, just wear your rainbow socks, which is what I knit her for Christmas last year. And she said, but I really like the ones with the ruffles. And I was like, oh, of course you do. Okay. So the apple orchard socks may be her pattern that I make for her from now on, because she really, really likes them. So thank you, Judy, for publishing that, because it's just absolutely her favorite. And I will probably use it for the next pair that I make for her too. The yarn is, the top are just minis that I acquired from a friend. She gifted them to me, and I just have them all in this little bag. They used to be a magic ball, and I got really confused about what was going on with this magic ball, because I didn't realize it was a magic ball, and I was trying to use it for a blanket. So I actually like just kind of separated them out into their individual colors, and it's a Sophie Toes sock yarn. So there were 15 different colors in it, and it was for a patchwork scarf pattern, but I did that's not what I used it for. So I ended up using a couple of minis for the cuffs, but I did them kind of round by round so that they would match for the first color, and then I just finished it off with the second color because I knew it was going to make it. So anyway, that is, I don't even see the ones I used. I think it was, I tried to use the ones that were mostly blue. So I used all of the first one, which has these kind of rainbowy variegated colors in them. And then I used this one as the bottom, which has these dark blue and purples in there. And then for the main body of the sock, I used a Wonderland color yarn in the Marianne base. And I will have to put the color on the screen because I always forget it. And I don't know why I don't have the ball band, but I have a picture of the ball band, so I'll put it up there. Also, I'm in my room today with, oh, these don't even really fit on here. That's funny. I'm in my room today because I thought it might be better just, you know, to do it this way. So we're gonna try it. And I think I like it better already. So we'll see. Here we go. These are my youngest son's birthday socks. His birthday was in February. So see, we're tracking now. We're getting closer to the actual present time with the birthday socks. And these are called the Stomping Dinosaur socks. They are so cute. And there's actually a lacework pattern that you can do with these socks. So if you want them to have a more feminine vibe with them, that's fun. And I like that because you don't often see dinosaur stuff. It's very aimed towards boys most of the time, which these are for my son. But I like that there's an option that looks a little girlier because my girls like dinosaurs too. So with this one, I used a Sophie's Toes main color, and then the contrast black is Patton's Croix in charcoal. I really like that black. It's just a really standard black and doesn't come out too gray, which is nice. The charts I had to adjust a little bit because I did not do the stitch counts that are in the pattern because they were for little feet, and in fact they look kind of weird because I put some ribbing on the top so it would fit his foot better. One of the things that I did was I cast on, I think, 56 stitches, maybe 52, and then I increased a few stitches to do the color work, and then I just decreased back down at the gusset, but I wish I would have decreased after the color work and then done that. But, you know, whatever. They do stay on his feet when he's got shoes on, but they're a little slippy without the shoes on. So He wears them with his boots, which is really cute, and whenever he wants to wear them, I just think, oh, that's really great. So the T-Rex and the little Brontosauri on there are just lovely. I really like them. And yeah, so it's nice that we have 2 different birthday socks complete. I had these on the needles. I had the cuffs on the needles, and I hadn't finished the Apple Orchard socks yet. And I just was like, no, even though I really want to do the colorwork charts on this sock, I really need to get those done first because her birthday was first, right? So I did those and then was able to finish these. They're just the cutest. I love that there's 2 different charts for the socks. And even though I zhuzhed the charts, there's a dinosaur on the front of here, and you can still see the dinos on the side, even though they're not necessarily even on there. And then the Brontosaurus one, actually, I did not have to adjust at all. The stitch counts matched up so that the repeat was continuous, even though I had changed the stitch counts for the circumference. So that was really good too, because they both have the same size feet, even though my daughter's 7 and my son is 5. And I was wondering if I should up my stitch count for him more, because I hadn't made him a pair of socks in a while, and it seems that these were actually a little bit too big in the insteps. So good to know. I actually do need to write it down and make a note about it. Sorry, there's like a little burr in his sock here. At least he wears them, right? There we go. But I want him to continue wearing them. You don't want a burr in your sock. So I need to make a note about that, that these were a little big, that I need to go back down to whatever I cast on. I actually did make notes about it. So when I find those, I will reference those and make little notes about what to go back down to for the next pair of socks, which will probably be around Christmas. I really do like having 2-ish pairs of woolly socks for my kids. When we go camping in October, it's really nice for them to have some woolly socks to choose. They don't have to wear them, but they usually want to. It's really cute. That's kind of the time during the year that we start wearing the woolly socks, and it's cute. Just we all make our choices. And my oldest son, his sock size, his knit sock size is the same as mine, and so any socks that I make for myself that I'm just like, I don't know if these are what I'm into, I just give them to him and he loves it. So yeah, that's good. All right, these are the Coffee Break socks by Stone Knits. They're from the Charming Colorwork Socks book. I really like this book. Those are the only ones I've made from the book so far, but I would like to make more of them. In fact, the ones on the front are called the Tiptoe Through the Tulip socks. And I've done a full colorwork sock before, but it did not work for me. I should have upped my needle size. I should have done a couple of things, and it didn't work in my first trial. So I'd like to try those socks again that I tried in the first place, but I'd also like to try the Tiptoe Through the Tulip socks, because I feel like the socks that I've done with this book, with Charlotte Stone's patterns, I've really liked them, and I've made a few of them for my sister, which is who these are for. She is a barista, and so I think she'll really like these. She's a barista in the way that, like, you know, it's kind of like her craft. I know a lot of people enjoy coffee and even have jobs making coffee, and her whole, I don't know, she's just spent decades learning about it and teaching about it, and so I thought she would really like these. I used I don't see the leftovers for these. I may have put them Like, they may still be in a project bag somewhere because I haven't actually put all of it away. But this is, the main yarn has these blue and brown and a little bit of orange speckles in there, which I really love. It's called Bleak Midwinter from Mousewitch Yarns. And then this little blue blip in this colorwork is from an Advent mini. I just kind of broke into this Advent that I've not used yet for these, which is fine. And then the cups are another Sophie's Toes mini, and the brown is just leftovers that I've had. In fact, there are two different leftovers. You can kind of tell on this one that there's a lighter brown here and a darker brown here, but if she does notice, I don't think she'll care. So I reversed the charts for one of the socks so that the steam would be going the other way, and the handles for the cups and everything. I thought that was great. I like that a lot. And I did this one first, I think. I kind of got mixed up on the heel flap for my, I don't know if you can see with my slip stitches. Do you see that? I just kept going because it's okay. It's the back of her heel. And she has liked the socks that I've knit her before quite a bit, and so every year I knit her a pair of socks. I also did the tread heavy heel and the ball of the foot there. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in reinforcing your socks that way, I have tutorials on my channel that you can just knit a whole sock with me. We do it in real time mostly, and the it's not hard. Once you get through that heel turn, it's not hard. And I would say that is the most tricky part, is just like paying attention to where your slip stitches are on there. But the heel flap's not hard. After the heel turn's not hard. It's lots of fun. And I do this with almost all of my socks that I'm making for adults, because I'm hard on my socks and I want to be able to continue to be that way without, you know, getting holes in my socks all the time. So, and then I like that in the toe there's that colorwork blip again of the blue. I really enjoyed making these. I made the first one in August of last year because my sister's birthday is in August, and then I promptly lost the first one that I finished. I could not find it. So I really quickly made her a pair of DK weight striped socks. They are very cute, but that's not what I was planning on doing for her. Then in January, when I was doing kind of a whip inventory, I found it, and then a month ago or so, I found the yarn that I had set aside in a very special place that even I couldn't find. The yarn that I had saved for when I found the first sock to make the second one. So now they're finally done, and they'll wait for August, for this coming birthday, for her to receive them. Okay, and the last pair of completed birthday socks, these are actually for me. My birthday was in April, and I didn't get these done in April, but I still count them as my birthday socks. These are the Blooming Lavender socks from the same Charming Colorwork book, Charming Colorwork Socks book. I think my colorwork was a little, it wasn't as stretchy as I wanted it to be. I can get it over my heel, and I think with wear, it's actually become easier to do so, but I think I'm gonna up my needle size as well as the instructions in the pattern about how to manage that. So anyway, I've really loved wearing these socks. They're so cute. I've been participating in a spring knit along called The Birds Are Back by Galanthus Knits podcast. It's been so nice to just see everybody's creations and be in tune with the season. And like now it's June, so it's a little more summery, but it doesn't get really hot here in Indiana usually until July. We're flirting with that because it was about 90 degrees yesterday, but it's raining, so that usually brings it down a bit after that. So anyway, this is another main yarn from Mousewitch Yarns. This is, I have them here. This is a diamond colorway, She did a birthday month gemstone collection. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. And so each one, you know, each month was that gemstone, and April is diamond, and she did it on a white one and a black one, and so that was cool. But I really liked the white one, so I got that. I love the speckles in here, and you can see that the speckles are pretty even, which is not, I feel like that's hard to control in, you know, hand-dyed yarn, but it's pretty great. I like it a lot, and I've been wearing them quite a bit. I did not know I would be such a color. I mean, obviously I'm picking stuff off them all over the place because I've been wearing them. I finished them a while ago. I haven't actually put finished object pictures for them in the Spring Knits little chat yet because it's been so ridiculously busy, but I want to do that today. And then the purple is a mini that came with the Mouse Switch sock advent from last year. I really like that purple. It's just so perfect for the pattern. And then the green I'm also using for another pair of socks, but I pulled it to use with this one because I tried a couple of greens and I didn't really like them. I liked this one the best. This is the Wonderland Walk colorway from Lay Family Yarns. They did a collaboration with Allie of, oh gosh, she has two different channels, This Little Wonderful Life, and I can't remember if that's like her walking channel or if that's her fiber channel, but anyway, I'm sure you'll be able to find her. I'll put her on the screen. I like her so much. She just seems very real, and I realize it's easy for someone to be kind and seem authentic for, you know, an hour or 10 minutes or whatever in a video, but I don't know. I feel like there's this, I feel like she's very real and great. So these are great. I've really enjoyed them, and I'm looking forward to making more pairs of socks and learning more just about colorwork socks in general, because I think they would be very nice in the winter time, like the full colorwork socks. I'm gonna think about that some more. Okay, so I've got 2 socks on the needles, and then I've got a couple of works in progress that I've been working on, a couple being 4 other works in progress that I've been working on. I have one more pair of socks on the needles. It's just a cuff, but I've had it on there for months and months. I do that sometimes where I like kind of reserve my sock needles for patterns that I want to do, but I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know. I might bring it on my trip. We're going to California again in July at some point, and I might bring that with me, that project with me, and see if I can finish 1 or 2 socks, because the plane ride can be quite long. Usually from Indiana to California, there's a layover somewhere, whether it's in Dallas or in Denver or sometimes in Salt Lake City, and so there's usually some type of layover time, including the plane ride times, and yeah, so I can get a lot of knitting done in those planes. So anyway, these are the next pair of birthday socks. This is for my oldest son. His birthday's also in April, and I don't think he will even wear these until the fall, so there's no rush or anything on them, but he asked for long black woolly socks is what he said. So I have that Patton's Crayon Charcoal again. I really like it, and I've got maybe 30 rounds of a leg going here, so I'm gonna go to 60, put it on his leg, see how he feels about it, and then finish the sock if he likes it. I could probably go to 70 rounds and still be able to get a sock out of a 50-gram ball. I have the other cuff cast on, but this is the one I'm currently working on. So I just bring it with me in my bag for when I'm out and about. You might be surprised how much you can get done just like waiting in a drive-through for your food to be ready, or waiting to pick up your kids from somewhere, or just like in the car whenever it's like we're in a parking lot and we have to wait for something. And that, yeah, you can get a few rounds and it's really nice. So this is kind of my handbag sock, and I at first was thinking that I wouldn't like working with the black yarn as much because, you know, it's hard to see. And I double checked with him and said, do you want me to do some type of pattern or stitch texture or anything on it? And he said, no, I just want a regular black sock so that I can, even if I'm wearing something dressy, I can wear my woolly socks if I want to. And I was like, okay. So obviously just knitting stockinette around and around isn't hard, and for me it's something I can do without looking most of the time. So the black yarn I don't think is going to be problematic. I will have to look at what I'm doing for decreases in the gusset and probably for the heel flap with dark yarn like this, but aside from that I think it's just going to be pretty easy to do. So there's that. Hopefully these won't hang over me for too long. But also I've noticed that if I have this in my bag, they don't stay on my needles for a super long time, because I'll usually get to the heel and then I'll, because it's out of my bag and I don't have anything to work on, or I don't have this to work on while I'm waiting, I get the heel put in pretty quickly and, you know, want to move on to the foot. So there's that. That's nice. And this is just going to be a vanilla sock. I probably am going to do the tread heavy sole for him. I don't always do that for him. A lot of times the socks that I give to him have those in them that like I thought were going to be mine, but I think that it's a good idea to do that for him now that he's getting older. Speaking of putting the heel in socks so that I can get moving on them, this is the Stephen West Mystery Sock Knit Along, I think from last year. I had finished this much before I put them down. I think they're so fun. I love these welts. He calls them welts. I think actually welts in vintage patterns has a different meaning, but I think they are so great. I love how they look, and I know that there's other instructions for the foot on this that make it look cool and crazy, but I didn't think that I would like the way that felt on the top of my foot. So I just picked up the stitches along the top, and then I'm doing my heel flap, and I'm probably going to do stripes down the bottom because I don't want to use up all of this green. This is the Wonderland Walk color. I really like it. It's got all these green tones, but it's also got flecks of like this reddish brown in there. That's really nice. And I'm very curious to see it in just stockinette for like a second, because of course this has a bunch going on here stitch wise, and I can kind of see it in the cuff, I guess, and I can kind of see it in the color work of the Blooming Lavender socks, but I'd really like to just see it for itself for a while. So I am almost done with this heel flap, and I'll be able to start the gusset and get moving on it and see it for a second in the stockinette. I'm really excited about that. So I haven't done anything on this first one, mostly because I wanted to see what I thought about this one before I committed to do anything to both of them. I have the brown yarn that I used for the coffee break socks somewhere. Like the leftovers of those are somewhere, and I'd really like to find them because that's the brown that's on the top of this cuff and in the welts there. And so I'd like for it to be in the stripes on the foot. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I don't know if I will just start with the green and then move on to the two that I actually have here. Hope that I find the brown somewhere. These two are the this one is the Dreaming Cashmere. So there's some obviously cashmere content in this sock yarn, and it's called Naked Shame is the colorway, which always makes me laugh. And then this one is a Sweet Georgia sock yarn in the colorway Brick Lane, and I really like that red. I might just put that in a few things because it's quite lovely, isn't it? So those are all the socks. So many socks finished, a few socks still on the needles. Yeah, that's what's going on with those. Another handbag knit that I have made some progress on is this Burough. It is the best purple. Oh my goodness. It's got all this speckling in it that's so beautiful. I've done Buroughs with ribbing in the middle before. I don't think I'm going to do that with this one. I'm not even halfway through right now, but I think what I'm going to do too is on one. So I want to make it long enough so that it can either be slouchy or so that it can have like a cuff on it. And I think the way for me to be able to do that and have enough yarn is that I can implement some stripes with this one, because they came together anyway in the sock advent from the Mouse Witch sock advent last year. I usually take this with me if I'm going somewhere that's going to be in the dark for a long time. So a play or a symphony or a movie or something. And I honestly don't even remember where I went, but I got a few inches done on it. I think it was a play. And so that's really nice. And I'm going to keep working on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be the one to keep it. I think if I have another skein of purple that I really like that is similar to this one that I might use for myself if I end up giving this to my mom. I really like the way the purple looks with the white hair. I think it's really cute. And my mom also has white hair. So I'm still thinking about that. And also she has a birthday in December. And so if I have gifts ready for my mom has a birthday in December, my sister has a birthday in December, and my daughter has a birthday in December. So if I have gifts ready for them before, you know, the Christmas season bug hits me for every year where I say, I'm not going to make anything for anyone. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to stress myself out. And then for some reason, I'm doing it anyway because I like it. I like giving things to people. I like making things for people. So, if I have some things set aside, maybe that would be a good idea. Now, an unexpected whip that I pulled out, wonder what that was for. Another unexpected thing that I worked on this month was my Go Dynamo Shawl. This was this past year's Mystery Knit Along shawl from Stephen West. I really enjoyed the shawlography one that I did a few years ago, and I have really been enjoying this one too. It's very, I like how many pieces there are and how it fits together. It's really cool. I'm doing a very low contrast one. In fact, it's hard to see, right? Like where it's purple and where it's gray. You can see my green Surrey coming through in the brioche sections. Now the pattern is not obviously a secret anymore because it was everybody who was doing the Mystery Knit Along knows how it ends since that happened at the end of October. But these little triangles go all the way across this edge, and my needle is so long, my cord on my needle is so long, but it still is like having the edges still having to be bunched up on here, even though I have this stuff bound off. So after the triangles, you pick up those stitches and you do a little border, and then on this side you pick up the stitches and you do the part, you know, the part that would be by your neck. You move in and finish that up. I think I'm going to do the inside section first before I do any border business, because I want to make sure that I have enough of what I'm working with. And then with the border, if I choose to just do it smaller because I don't have as much as I thought, or if I choose to implement the suri in again, because I have plenty of suri in this grain to use. This is a Pearl Soho good wool in the color Coastline Gray, even though it looks purple. And then this gray is a mystery yarn. It was given to me by my friend Angela, and I really like it. It's quite woolly, but it also has this cool like feeling to it, so I'm assuming that there's some type of silk content in there. It also looks like there is too, and so that's been fun. The drape factor I think is going to be amazing after I block it. I really think this is going to be great. Once again, I am working with these strictly fingering weight projects and wondering why it's taking me so long to get them finished. I have one project that's not fingering weight on my needles right now, and I do really love it though. I love the way fingering weight projects look. I love the way they feel. I have plans for this advent of fingering weight minis for, I think it'd be great to do a cardigan out of them, but I've never made a fingering weight cardigan. Not a cardigan. I made a pullover sweater. It was a cropped pullover sweater that I actually gave to someone else eventually because it didn't really work for me. I made the yoke way too deep for it to be a cropped pullover for myself. I just didn't like the way that fit. But anyway, this is going to be wonderful. I mean, the wingspan on this thing already, even without any type of border, is longer than my arms. So it's going to be fantastic. Now, I brought this with me on my trip to California because I figured we'd have some time sitting and talking with family, and my husband's family lives out there. And I did. I got quite a bit done. I got several triangles done. These are made with short rows, but there's just so many more left to do. And I don't know if I'm going to put this down for a minute and readdress it, or if I want to keep going so that I get them done and I don't have to because at this point I almost have the wedge, you know, the way to do the wedges memorized. And once I get to that point, I always feel like it would take a lot more brain power to forget it and then come back and remember it. So I might as well just finish it so I don't have to remember it after that. But we shall see. In fact, I think I did not finish this gray wedge at all. That's funny. Well, I'll at least do that before I put it back down. I've really been enjoying this project though. I think it's still just going to be kind of a long-term thing. It's huge. And I did I think this is the first 2 clues in October, and then just put it away because I had other stuff I needed to focus on. But I am slowly making my way through my works in progress from last year, and this is one of the big ones left. So this might, I don't know. I like having the mystery knit along done before the next October so that I can feel like I can participate without having something hanging over me if I want to, but also there has not yet been a year where I've been like, oh, I really love this design, and then the next year I also really love it. Usually the next year I'm like, that's not, I don't think I'm doing that one. So, oh well, we'll see. Second to last work in progress. This is actually going to be harder to show because I am in the middle of a row here. But this is the November jacket by Petite Knit. So I got the top done. This is great. This is where the sleeves go together here. And then I love this red. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness. I love it so much. And I finished the second plate like I was wanting to. So this is going to be the third plate. Lovely. Oh, it's so soft. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is new to Din yarn. Obviously, I've got some. I have a problem. It's going to take me years to get through the few orders that I've made from, Anna Rock Hair. Is that how you say it? I always am like, I don't know. But this one, so each plate, if you've gotten it before, you know that each color kind of has its own level of woolly toothiness. And this one is so soft, which I think also has contributed to it breaking a little bit more than I expected while knitting with it, but it's so wonderful. And I cast it on Valentine's Day because it's red, and I thought that would help me remember when I cast it on, which it has, which is great. I'm not very good at remembering that. And this is going to be wonderful because every winter, I think to myself, you know what would be great? A red cardigan. And then I think, oh, I'll never get it done in time. I won't do that. And then the snow falls and I'm like a little cardinal. I want to be out in the snow in a red cardigan. And yeah, so I'm going to just knit it through the summer and then it'll be ready, because the last two cardigans that I knit, I finished in June and July of a couple of years ago, and I have worn those puppies so much. And I think part of it was I felt like I had enough time to make decisions and make them longer if I wanted to, tear things out if I needed to. And the things that I've made in a rush, the cardigans that I've made in a rush, or during the winter where I felt like I need to finish them now so I can use them now, those have not stayed with me. I have two cardigans that I've made that are just, I know that I'm going to have them for a really long time. And in fact, they're kind of my cardigans that I wear when I want to be really cozy at home, because they get real pilly because I wear them all the time. This one, I'm curious to see how much it will pill. I did make a cardigan out like this cropped cardigan that I actually pulled out and turned into a vest. But even in the few wears that I had for that one, it pilled quite a bit under the armpit. So I'm really curious to see how this one holds up with it being quite a bit softer. I'm just really curious about that, how that will work. I usually make the most progress on this if I wind this up into a ball and I put the ball in, like multiple balls, and then I put the ball that I'm working with in like a ceramic bowl that I have that's really slick so that it just moves really easily. I haven't done that yet. Oh no, there's like little, I haven't done that yet because it just makes, it's just another step, right? But it actually does speed up the process quite a bit. So I think I'm going to do that with this. I'm just going to take one of my ceramic bowls and put it on the table next to the chair that I'm normally hanging out in the evening, so that it'll be all set up and ready for me to do. Because I would love to, I would love to get this cardigan done this summer or this fall. Oh my gosh, this fall? Oh, perfect timing to get it done this fall. I obviously have more plates up here. There are 3 up here left. I think just 3 up here left. And I've been working from the plates are not all the same weight. When you buy the plates, you get like a total of 300 grams or 500 grams that you purchased. So I got 500 grams of this color. But I've been working from the biggest plates down to the smaller plates. So I have one more plate that's almost this size, and then the other 2 are a bit smaller. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit more on the body, and then I'm actually going to switch and do the sleeves, because it's more important to me that the sleeves are all the same color as the top of the body. And then I can, you know, if I want to pull in like, oh, I'm pulling on stuff. If I want to pull in this dark brown and kind of fade that into the bottom, I think that would be totally fine. But I would like for the sleeves to be the same color as the rest. I might not even need to do that. I might not even need to change colors, but with the body already, before I even connect it together for sleeves, being 2 plates and there being 4 left, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's gonna pan out. So, and I'm a little less concerned about the length of the cardigan being messed with. I feel like there are more options for me with that than the sleeves. I really like the sleeves to be a specific length, and if I am going to be picky about the body length of the cardigan, I'm okay with fading in some other color. Okay, last but not least, this is a buddy knit I'm doing with my sister. If you want to follow her on Instagram, her handle is crafty as frick. She's accurately named that because if you follow her, you'll see her spinning, you'll see her dyeing yarn, naturally dyeing yarn, you'll see her knitting, it's just, she's so great. She knows so many things. So we are doing a tank top together. She sent me a message and asked if I'd like to do a buddy knit with her, and I was like, yes, 1,000 times yes. I will put the pattern name up here because I haven't said it very often and I don't remember what it's called, but it's by KnittingThru, and I've never made a summer top before. I've never finished one before. I've started a few, but I've never finished one before. But I really think I will this time because the stars are kind of aligning with this project. I'm really excited about it. This is the front, and then I've cast on the back. I have a little bit more to go. Let's see here if I can line them up. So obviously the bottom of that is curling, but I'm maybe halfway through the back panel. Now there are some little straps to connect the top, and I haven't put those on yet because I want to get through the front and the back and then connect it and see how low I want that armhole to be. I feel like that's going to be the thing that determines how it lays, like how the front lays. It's supposed to be kind of this boat neckish situation where it kind of drapes in the front a little bit. So that's cute. I like that. I'm using the Advent main color from last year's Magpie Fibers Advent. I accidentally ordered 2 last year. I was so concerned about making sure I got it that I ordered one in May and one in June of last year. And then when they both showed up before Christmas, I thought, what? Okay. Well, I guess that's fine. So I had a great time giving any tools that I had doubles of to my friends and keeping all the yarn. So I have another 100-gram yarn cake here of the same color because they both came in the advents. I want to say I'm over halfway through this one. I want to say that. But I also realized I'm supposed to be doing a certain amount of rows in between these garter ridges here. And I've been doing 2 more than I'm supposed to be doing in between. So I tried to make this one match that one. I think once I get in the round, obviously it won't be hard to remember what I'm doing, but I keep every section being like, okay, so I actually need to do what I was doing before and not what the pattern says, but keep track of my rows, and it's just getting silly. It feels silly. I'm really excited about it. I did, when I finished this one, I put it in the water and soaked it and blocked it, and that is just, it's the drape factor. Ugh, I'm so excited about it. I'm really excited about it. I don't think I've been, I mean, obviously I've never finished a summer garment before, and so I've not been as excited as I am about this one before. I'm going to, I was thinking I would get a lot of it done this week while my kids are doing this summer day camp, but it's actually been hard to get things finished during this period of time. I know a lot of people during the summer don't knit at all. And some people just kind of switch to smaller projects like socks, or they put their blankets away and things like that. But I don't mind. I usually don't take big sweaters with me anyway because I like taking smaller things out. Yeah, that's okay. Speaking of smaller things, while I was in California, I got this gorgeous, look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. I got this yarn. I put it into 2 50-gram cakes because I want to do a Nelia hat, which actually is written for a 2-color brioche hat. And I've never done 1-color brioche in the round. Obviously, I'm going to have to do that with this November jacket soon. But I figured if I just put it into 2 cakes, then I can do what I've done before and essentially do 2-color brioche with the same color. I want to do it because I want to do it because I was watching Parks and Rec again recently with my husband, and there's this beanie that Leslie Knope wears on the wedding episode, and I just went, oh, I remember the first time I saw this series and I saw that hat and thought, oh my gosh, that hat is amazing. And now I have the skills to make one, and so I'm going to do it. It's going to be wonderful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. Yes. Another thing that I'm going to be working on fairly soon is I think I would like to make a hooded scarf for myself. This yarn, you can see it's already knit up, but like there's no needles in it. This is from my husband's grandma's stash. I was given pretty much everything in her closet, her crafty closet, to split up between myself and my sister-in-law, because we are the knitters of the grandchildren. And it's been wonderful. We looked at it together, and she was really honest about, what she would actually use. And I was like, great, I will, anything you don't use, I'll probably, find some use for. And this one, I really love the blue. As I've been embracing my silver white hair, I've really enjoyed blue a lot more than I used to. I've usually been into green for a really long time, but I think this would be really pretty as like a hooded scarf situation. And I have quite a bit of it here that is already balled up. She did some center pull balls here, and so I was just gonna take it piece by piece and frog this bit that she was actually looks like already in the middle of frogging, and make it into something new that could wrap around my head and my neck and remind me of her. So those are the plans for the future. I finished some books in the last couple of months. I finished The Greatest Love Story Ever Told. Definitely got that one done. That one was so funny. I loved listening to that one with the husband. Oh my goodness. That was great. I just started Shift, which is the second book in the Silo series. We're also watching the Silo series. I think it's on Apple TV together, and that's been a lot of fun to see how they have interpreted that story. There's also, I started reading the book Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. That's been fascinating. I really like that. It's essentially reading about someone's special interest for chapters, and that's wonderful. I finished Looking for Alaska. That was surprisingly very good. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I really, really loved it. That was really great. Surprisingly, like, touched my heart at the end. It was wonderful. I also started the second book in the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson. I was in the middle of like some chapter, and then my audiobook got automatically returned, and it has a 16-week hold on it. No. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to do about that. I'm just trying to, I'm not sure. I don't know what to do about that. I finished the graphic novel In. My brother suggested that one to me, and that one was really great. It's about this artist who feels like the connections he makes with people are not, he just wants them to be different and real and authentic, and he struggles with doing that, and the way that it shows like kind of his inner world is really cool. So anyway, that is that. I also got a new tattoo for my birthday. This one with the bee is new. That's been really fun to have that. I feel like I've got kind of this half sleeve thing going on now, which I really am enjoying. And yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but it's really hard for me to remember. And so if you made it to the end of the podcast today, make sure to leave me an emoji. I love, or a comment. I love knowing who's made it to the end. And if you have any questions about anything I may have forgotten, I feel like sometimes you guys remember better than I do about, sorry, there's lightning and it's beautiful. It's distracting. You remember better than I do where I was with the project or what books I was reading. And right now I am blanking because it's been over a month since the last podcast, but I will endeavor to do another one in the beginning of July and the beginning of August. This summer is the harder time for me to find time. Our rhythm is just different as a family in the summer, so it's harder for me to find time and communicate, like needing some space and stuff. So yeah. I hope you guys have a great summer, and I'll see you next time. Bye.